Today we're going to talk about a few things, 3 things. We're going to do makeup, quick, short makeup. We're going to do hair because I got a few requests to talk about hair. And we're going to talk about friends. Specifically, what do you do about lame friends? Okay, we got our foundation on. Now we're going to do some under eye fixing. And let's start with talking about friends. Remember in the last video where we talked about relationships in the context, or as the analogy of trying on shoes? I want you to keep that in mind as we talk about friendship, because a lot of those same ideas apply. All right, back with our color tattoo eyeshadow primer. I'm learning that less is more. Let's say you've got a friend who has a lot of potential. This person, you may not even go way back, but this is somebody that you hit it off with and they have just made a mistake. Or maybe you have just made a mistake and there's a bump in the road in your friendship. There's a skill in figuring out which friendships have potential and are worth the energy and the effort to repair, and in realizing when this is just not a good fit and this is a person that you wish them well, but you probably should just part ways because it's not fundamentally a good fit. Now, there also is a toxic friend. And I want to urge you, when I say that term, when I say the word toxic friend, you immediately think of someone that's probably your toxic friend. And I want you to give yourself permission to back away from this person, because there are toxic people out there and they get their energy from disruption and from chaos, and they are not good for your soul. So if you have a toxic friend, I would encourage you to figure out ways to back away gently, back away easily. You don't have to hurt their feelings. You don't have to make a big scene. But I suspect that your time would be better spent with people who fundamentally are good people and who are not toxic. What about someone that you like from afar, and maybe you've met them a few times, but you would like to pursue a friendship with them, but you don't really know where to start? 2 of my best friends that I've been friends with for decades, I became friends with them when they sought me out, and they were determined in that. In college, there once was a knock on my door at night. It was like 10 at night. And there was a girl from down the hall who was standing there with a pint of Bluebell cookies and cream, ice cream, and 2 spoons. And she said, "I've seen you around and I thought maybe you'd like to share some ice cream with me." And we've been friends ever since. She was the maid of honor at my wedding. So, hi, Kim. So, I want you to have an understanding that sometimes people that you end up being really good friends with just sort of come from out of the blue. It's not something that you would ever expect, but if you're open to the idea of people finding their way into your life, you never know who's going to show up and who you're going to be friends with for a really long time. What about friends with benefits? Ooh, don't do it. You're selling yourself short. Something you learn as time goes by is that for every person out there with whom a friendship does not pan out, just for whatever reason, maybe the timing's not right, maybe you're just in different places, maybe that person is immature, for whatever reason, for every friendship that doesn't pan out, there's going to be a friendship that works. You just have to be open to it. And sometimes the people that you don't even suspect as being potential friend material turn up to be indispensable in your life. So I have found that there have been some people that I just hit it off right off the bat and we became friends very quickly. But there have been other people that I just sort of knew peripherally or incidentally, and we sort of circled around each other in the same friends group or in school or in play groups or whatever. And over time, one or the other, or I guess both of us, realized that we actually had a lot in common, or we really liked each other, even though we were very different. So you just never know when a really good friend is sitting there right under your nose and you don't even know it yet. Look for friends who are not just like you. So it's easy to find things that you have in common with someone who is very similar to you. They look like you. You have a lot of things in common with them that are obvious, that are easy. But a lot of times the most rewarding relationships and friendships are with people who are not like you, who have a different perspective and a different experience. And you just have to listen and make yourself open to their experiences and their perspective. And a lot of times these are the most rewarding relationships because there's a lot of material there. You can learn things from them, they can learn things from you. It's all about respect and being open to learning from other people, learning from your friends. We are moving on to hair. You're gonna want to dry your hair, and sometimes as you're drying your hair, flip it upside down, which will help build volume. Okay, my hair is almost dry, not quite, it's still a little bit damp. And so now I'm going to use this Kerastase elixir, just like 1 or 2 pumps, and I'm gonna work it in, and this is gonna keep my hair from being damaged from the dryer and hot rollers, which are coming up next. Getting ready for the hot rollers, and here is a trick. Use hairspray, and when your hair is now dry, but you haven't curled it yet, use hairspray, not a whole lot, just a little, and this is going to help the rollers grip when you put them in place. Pay attention, you Pacific Northwest peeps, because I know you guys are unfamiliar with this tool, with the hot rollers, but they will change your life. Okay, so it takes a little practice to get the hang of it. So don't give up if they kind of slip around and flip and flop. It just takes a little while to get the hang of it. Keep putting in a little bit of hairspray as you go, and that'll make your hair a little bit sticky so it doesn't just slip right out of the curlers. And as we're doing this, I have a couple of more thoughts about friendship. So first off, what do you do if a friend has really let you down? Maybe they have left you for some guy, maybe they stabbed you in the back, maybe they just made a really bad mistake. You need to evaluate that friendship and see if this is somebody that's worth the effort. And if you decide that maybe this is a shoe that just really doesn't fit very well, that's okay, you can let them go. You don't have to be friends with everybody. Sometimes people mature, and someone that you can't be friends with in high school, you end up being good friends with later in life. Sometimes that doesn't happen, and that's okay. You do not have to be friends with everybody. There are going to be some people that it's just oil and water. You don't like them, they don't like you for whatever reason, and that's okay. Okay, one last roller. I'm gonna leave these in for about 10 minutes. And then we'll be done. A few minutes have gone by. I'm gonna take these out and I will give you a tip. Let your hair cool for a minute or two before you brush it out and the curls will stay longer. Also, this isn't a great hairstyle if it's rainy. If your hair is straight like mine, this will be an exercise in futility because as soon as you step outside, it'll go straight again. So I save this effort for days when sun's shining, and all of this will not be for naught. All right, love you guys. Oh, grandmother's tacky earrings. Mileage out of these earrings, I tell you. You know, the more I think about it, I don't think you have to be 50 to get away with this. I think you could make it work right